Okay, so I'm noticing that deep sort of orangey, rusty colour in the middle of there, and I'll take out all of the rings in case I use them. I might not. I like all of that. I like that rusty middle, this orangey. Okay, just noticing I'm getting back into a thinky kind of place, thinking, shall I, shan't I, end up in a sort of impasse, and then I might just walk away and not carry on. So I would like to stop doing that. I'm going to take the ochre colour from round the edge off. Just following my gut again. A nice deep breath seems to help me to get out of that thinking, mulling things over, analytical place, so that I can be. Oh wow, okay, I like that. So as you can see, I'm just going with my gut and playing around here with how I feel, doing my best not to think or plan, and I'm liking how it's going. I've still got the urge to cut around the edge of the paper, but I'm going to wait until it's thoroughly dry before I do that. I do want to turn it around. Doesn't feel so good that way. I quite like it that way. While it's this way round, I feel like I want to put some of that pinky colour in on the edge there, which could be this colour. It is it? Yes. Just going to take a moment to do that. Just fill in those little bits there that are missing. Okay, yeah, I like this, so I'm going to actually just do that with the blue as well. Just add that bit of... Oh, it's not quite so easy to do actually, just noticing. Easier to go along the top, but not to go in between. Okay, just accepting that. Yeah, I like it the way I have it, the way I made it. I'm just asking myself, is there anything else I would like to change, add, tweak? Eric Berne, who was a psychotherapist from the 1950s and 60s and 70s, very clever man, he said, I believe, something like, we can put a new show on the road at any point, any day we fancy. So this kind of feels like I'm putting a new show on the road as I tweak and add and change these. I'm updating myself with new colours and combinations. Wow, that looks really powerful. I like that. Cool. That changes everything. So you might like to just keep adding, tweaking and see how it goes for you. And if there's anything you want to make different, you might want to fill in the gaps in between somehow with paint, or I don't know, I actually have an urge to add some glitter in amongst all the bits between. That might change, but it's there at the moment. I like the green, orange and purple of this one together. Just cutting the bits of black off. How do I feel if I lose that one that's underneath? Yeah, it feels like a loss. Do I want to be without it? I like that. But I want to notice how I feel if I lose that. If I was to add that, then I have to lose that, if that makes sense. I rather like that though. I'm going to go with it. I feel like I'm doing something a bit dramatic with this square for some reason. Yeah, I like it that way around. Just wiping that bit of excess gel off. Okay, so you could keep adding and tweaking till your heart is content. You might like to journal about the process that you're going through, noticing that no matter what, I have not done a thing to that baby me, nor the beady eye me, nor this one here. And I really like that one and that one as they are. This one I've changed slightly, love it. Yeah, so it just feels like I'm sort of reorganising myself. I won't forget the forest now because I love that red in the centre. Wow, that just really pulls me in. Having a bit of a reaction to this one here. I'm going to cut around this one. I love it. And the green looked a bit grubby somehow. Like I want to get rid of that grubby green. Like I'm not going to make do anymore. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. It's a bit grubby, that green. A bit marked here and there, and it hasn't gone on very smoothly, so yeah, I'm not going to make do anymore. New decision. Oh wow, and I like it. Again, I would have to let go of that if I chose to have that. Really different to have the cold blues and the warm pinks and oranges together, but it feels good. I'm going to go with that. I've really enjoyed doing this. So, I suppose just to recap what we did do, I began with wallpaper lining and the idea of parts of self, but I wasn't sure how I was going to explore it initially, and I went looking on Pinterest at different images and different just artist stuff, and came across Kandinsky. And I've already done something with Paul Klee's work, used it in a way to explore. And so these colourful squares and concentric circles really appealed to me. Wow, that has changed a lot. I love that. Just get that excess gel off. Sort of want to push it along a little bit. Yeah, that feels good. And then just working from wherever I began. I think I began there with that one. And noticing what happened as I created, the story that came out of those circles let me know something about me. And then I began adding more and more and more. And then cutting them up and reorganizing them to the way that feels good for me. Feels like it's working at a very deep level inside of reorganizing things a little. So, like that. I'm going to change that slightly. Change this a little bit. Don't forget to go to the forest. I like this. I've really enjoyed doing this. I really, really hope that you have got a lot from this. Just going to get this excess gel off. From doing this, and you might like to do more. You might like to do a series of them. You know, you could have 2 or 3 together, all framed together on the wall. We are free to do anything we want. Wow, how does that feel? Quite exciting. Just looking at this one, I feel like I'm going to put this fluorescent pink right in the centre because I want to. I'm not going to question it. I'm going to do it. Wow. That's a beautiful colour. Just going to get the little bits of orange off around the sides. Where the green has touched the pink, it's kind of gone a bit orangey, a bit khaki coloured. And I don't want the khaki colour. I want fluorescent pink. How assertive is that? Okay, let's just pop that in there. And I'm wondering how it's been for you to work with your impulses, your instinct, your inner, your inner intuition, and acknowledge and trust and not question, but go with it. So I hope you're really enjoying the process and trust in your instinct, in your intuition, and don't forget to process in your journal what you're discovering about yourself as you work. Just digging around in my bits of papers, 'cause I've got loads of all sorts of wrapping papers, and this was from a journal notebook. Couldn't bear to throw it away when it came to the end, and I cut out all the bits off the journal, off the cover to keep. And I'm going to put one over here, because I love the idea of flowers when I go out into the forest, especially actually in May, June, when all the bluebells are out, because, well, it's just a blanket of lilac. It's just stunning, like a bluey lilac. And at the moment, because we were up there the other night, it's full of garlic at the moment, wild garlic. So it smells amazing. The flowers aren't out on it yet, but I can really smell it as soon as we stepped into the forest. Kind of smudged the green. I want to make that like that red of the forest. So I found this paint, just gathering up some bits before I turned the video on. This is Winsor Newton. It's a permanent rose. But it's quite a heavy bodied paint, this one. I just love the colour. So I'm going to just pop a tiny bit of it straight out of the tube. Oh yes, wow. Oh wow, that is just luscious to my mind. I like how the little bits of gold are still sort of shining through. Oh yeah. It's like a pinky red. Not sure how it will look. I know colours look all very different on screen. To me it's like a not quite red and not quite pink. Oh, I love that. It's kind of a satisfying little sigh. Okay. Feeling. I also wanted to add some sparkle. I've put some clear PVA glue into this plate ready because it dries absolutely clear. I've got this purpley pink. Okay. Oh, look. Adding that PVA glue on there kind of makes it very shiny. That actually is a way of sealing up things like watercolour or oil pastel. I've done it before and it worked well. Okay, I'm going in, having another fight with myself about colours. Oh, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to tip some into the lid because it's rather abundant. See if I can just tap it. And then later when this is dry I'll just shake off the rest. I'll just have to leave it flat until it's dry. Oh, so I can feel myself feeling very excited as I add the glitter because I just love glitter. So I do. Wow. I need to leave this flat until it's dry, and I want to add some more glitter. So this may not appeal to you at all, so please don't feel you need to follow me in any way. Just do what feels right for you. Just trust in your gut. Because when I trust in mine, it tends to go well. Just tipping some into the lid again. Just trying to tap it. This is quite a rough, gritty glitter, this particular one. It's not fine and powdery. It's sort of a royal blue. Because I love glitter and shimmer paste and all those kind of Phil Martin type products, I guess even though I'm a very quiet sort of personality, you know, I'm not the one that's going to be standing up front on the stage saying hi. I will be at the back of the room lurking, but there has to be a part of me that does like to sparkle because of all the products that I use when I'm working. So I'm just really acknowledging that sparkly bit of me that does want to shine somehow, in some way, by adding this glitter. So this is like a rich red. kind of going a bit everywhere, but once this is dry and I tap the excess off, it will only show up those bits that are on the PVA glue stuff. Sort of teal, turquoisey colour. Yeah, I'm just kind of reflecting quietly to myself actually about that bit of me that maybe wants to be seen, but in a small way, you know, it's just a small amount of shimmery glitter. And if I don't have glitter, then what? Oh, there's very little in this container. Yeah, will I then be disappointed? Just laughing to myself there because I found very little in this container. Like, oh no. Going to quickly see if I have any more. Lost the lid. Yeah, so just acknowledging that part of me really, that, you know, that shimmery, shiny, just a small bit of me that seems to want to shine, and why not? This one needs to be more shimmery for some reason. I'm just going with that. This one here has had quite a bit of work because I added a larger circle from one of the neons onto that square, didn't I? Once it was attached. Oh, kind of looks like a bird in flight, stopping me in my tracks. I'm going to leave that. You may not see this as I do, but I can see a bird. There's the wing, another wing, and the body through the middle. I'm just going to leave that as it is because I rather like that. How am I doing? Just want it in the middle of that one, not right all the way around the blue. Okay. Well, had I tried to plan this, I doubt very much it would have gone too well. For me, it's best to work in the moment, intuitively, just going with my process, so trusting my gut, asking myself, what do I want to do next? And I know I have a few tangos with the inner critic, and then manage to ground myself again and get out of that thinky sort of place. coming out very evenly, but maybe I'm just going to have to accept that. I want my bright eye to be noticeable, like to be really beady and bright. So I'm going to add this white, very, very glistening. It's beautiful, this glitter. I got it from Paperchase, which is a UK shop. I'm not sure if it's anywhere else. Oh wow, I've just dropped a load of it. Just going to accept that. Just see how it looks at the end. Yeah, so from Paperchase, it's a lovely, beautiful glitter. Okay, where am I up to with all of this? Still want to do something with the in-between bits, in between the squares. Manage, oh yeah, a little bit. Just to fill that area in a little. You know, I don't want any gaps between the parts. I want them all joined up together, belonging with each other somehow. I'm very wary of knocking all the glitter everywhere. I've been really keen to do this. Still haven't cleaned up the floor yet. I do have the guillotine, however, because I'm working on pretty sturdy paper and it's layered with more paper on top, so I'm not keen to put it through the guillotine in case it has a bit of a crash. Just wondering if this is this blue. Yeah, it is. Just feels very important not to have any gaps in between for me. I want them all to join up. I want all my parts to be together, my parts of self. Is this one? Yes. Okay, I'm just going to leave it to dry. Oh, I quite like it that way around now.